Hello, and welcome to Founder Freedom, From Hustler to CEO, the podcast built for e-commerce entrepreneurs and small business owners who are ready to work less, earn more, and scale smarter. I'm your host, Stephen Palmer, and today we're talking about a company turning houseplant shopping into a full-blown lifestyle brand. Meet Carlie Paluzzi, co-founder of BWH Plant Co, the digital garden that shipped over 1 million plants across the U.S. Let's jump in with Carlie. Welcome, Carlie. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Good. Very welcome. So can you tell us a little bit about the BWH Plant Co.'s value proposition to the world?
BWH Plant Co., like you said, is a digital garden center, and we are on a mission to turn all thumbs green. We grow, pack, and ship plants directly from our greenhouse to our doorstep, making growing your green thumb accessible and affordable in the modern world.
Awesome. So what kind of thoughts inspired you to create this brand?
Yeah, honestly, the brand was really created as a fun weekend side hustle amongst friends. So the original inspiration was really, how can we find joy in what we do for work every single day? We really just wanted to do something creative together. So I started the company with my husband and some friends from college. But over time, our passion project turned into a real business. And that's where our mission really came to life. We started realizing that tropical plants weren't all that accessible across the US. We're located in Orlando, which Apopka, Florida is the houseplant capital of the world. So we have that right in our back door, but across the country, pricing is very different. Accessibility isn't that. You don't find garden centers right on the corner of a lot of streets there. So we built a direct-to-consumer model where we're both the grower and the seller, and that allows us to cut out a lot of the middleman that make unique tropicals a lot more accessible and affordable for everyday plant lovers.
That's great. So when you were committed to bringing this company full circle to the market, so what kind of gaps did you see that were obvious than the ones a little bit deeper on what you just said about how you could market your business into life?
Yeah. So some of the challenges we saw was there was just a really big disconnect with what people actually wanted to shop for and how they were actually able to get them. So I think when you think about shopping for houseplants, you probably think of like your traditional garden center or like a big box store. And most of those garden centers aren't really built for how we're seeing like younger generation is starting to shop for things, which everything is online. People are buying groceries online, getting them delivered to the doorstep. So why can't you shop for plants online? Additionally, first-time plant owners, it's not that easy to go into a garden center if you don't really know what you're doing. So we found that just that kind of experience was a bit overwhelming, pretty outdated, and it didn't offer a lot of guidance around education and like learning how to grow your green thumb. So we really wanted to become a pillar for plant lovers of all types, whether you're new to gardening or you're extremely advanced and looking for like the most rare houseplant. That's what we wanted to be able to be for our customer base. So we just found that the experience of the garden center didn't speak to how people live or shop or learn today. And we wanted to change that.
That's awesome gap discovery and obviously very true. I have personally killed many houseplants.
We got some good blogs for you.
Yeah. So you talked a little bit about this, but let's go a little bit deeper. So like, what was some of the existing problems you think that was broken that your company is solving?
So I think the traditional garden center has a lot of pitfalls, and the major ones we would say are quality. With a garden center, really what they're doing is they're sourcing a ton of plants and varieties from many different places. And that leaves quality inconsistent since plants are sourced from multiple growers. That increases the chances of pests, disease, and poor health. Additionally, when a plant is in a garden center, it's not really meant to be grown and cared for there for very long. It's really like a high turn scenario. So most employees working at a center like that aren't really equipped for proper plant care. So you'll find like the health of the plants there might not be the best. And, the care in the store happening will typically worsen things that you might see when it comes to pests and disease and things of that sort, because they're not being treated for that either. So when we got started, we felt like we really couldn't find a brand out there that felt modern, felt educational, and also trustworthy from start to finish when it came to online plant shopping. Nothing really made it easy or exciting either for new gardeners to really like want to jump in. So we built our entire brand experience ourselves, from the greenhouse to the unboxing experience. And we decided to really take a mobile first approach and make it really fun to like shop for plants, almost equivalent to how people shop for rare sneakers or their favorite concert. Like we really wanted that experience to be fun and exciting. So even from the purchase to the unboxing, when they get to their doorstep, they're excited about what they're shopping for. And yeah.
That's a very all-inclusive approach to your younger or like new consumer audience. I love it. I love it. And I have a funny story that kind of talks to this little bitty conversation, which is, so for myself, like, of course, I like plants and such. And there's this thing going on in my community where all of us older folks try to get in on the secrets about when the shipments are coming into the retail location so that we could get in there before they kill the plants.
Yeah, that's how it works.
It's pretty funny.
And that's what we're doing here too with our, our online drops and things. We're able to communicate, fun releases, product releases, like what you might trying to find in a garden center.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's what it comes to, right? I mean, if you're bored, you want to have something shiny. You want to have a shiny penny.
Exactly.
So for new people coming into your website, what do you think might be the biggest misconception that people have about what your company does?
So I think that probably a lot of people think we're just like any other plant shop where we're reselling, other garden center products or other growers' products. But what we're doing is we consider ourselves growers first. So we're cultivating our varieties. We're growing them from seedlings or really young plants. So we're not just the grower, the seller, we're the grower, the operator, the content creator, the educator. So we're really like all inclusive. Like I've been saying, we're really trying to be that modern brand that's just built around turning plant care into something that people are really proud of and not intimidated by. Because I think gardening can be a little bit intimidating. And when I talk to, customers and ask like, how did you get into gardening, or, what inspired it? It was either COVID that, created that spark of wanting to create indoors, or generational. So it was usually grandmother or mother that, taught them gardening, and, you kind of pass down the tips and tricks of the garden. So it's been an interesting way to kind of like change that perception of what online plant shopping is and educate our customers that, we're extremely knowledgeable because we're not just reselling product, we're actually growing it from scratch. So we really want to be that pillar of education.
That's awesome. I mean, you're owning it from the beginning all the way to the end. I think it's important. I mean, both, from a retail experience point of view, but also from a cultural point of view, because planting, maybe everybody doesn't realize this, but as we get older, like we're looking for other hobbies. Mm-hmm. And caring for plants is accessible, and it's a little bit easier than pets because you don't have to clean up after them so much.
Exactly.
But it's very relaxing for a lot of folks, for sure.
It is. There's something very cathartic about just like putting your hands in soil and spending a little time outside.
Yep.
What's the saying these days? Like touch the grass.
Yeah. Keep your hands dirty, as they say. So cool. So do you have a success story that you could share for the audience here? Either a customer success story or a brand success story that you're proud of?
I would say, customer success stories we hear often. And I think a trend that I tend to hear from our customers are that, we get a lot of people. And even when I'm just chatting with people in my community, it's, I can't keep anything alive. I have a brown thumb. Like I can't do it. And what we love to hear from our loyal customers is when they're, they've come into to experiencing our brand and they've either never had a plant before or have kind of lived by that motto of, I can't keep a plant alive. This isn't for me.
Right.
And, they've kind of followed and become a part of our community and learned that like, we're offering care tips and tutorials, and they're following through different channels like our blog or our social media. And, coming back to us saying, I only started with one plant and now I'm a frequent customer and I'm shopping, like your plant drops every week or every so often. Mm-hmm. So I think, for those are our biggest customer successes, to hear that we are helping truly people grow their green thumb, and they're like along the journey with us as we are growing our business. Like we're quite young ourselves. We're 6 years in. And so to kind of hear that growth story from our customers is always really fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So now that you're almost a professional in your industry, 6 years, congratulations, by the way, that's a fantastic milestone. Do you see any trends that are shaping the future of the plant selling industry?
Yeah. We definitely are seeing that people are bringing nature into their homes in more like thoughtful and intentional ways. A lot of people really want that lush green look, but they also want it to be easy to care for. I think, the world has shifted a lot since COVID, and that's really like where our business was built during that time. And we've seen a shift in our customers since then because, a lot of people were working from home. There was more time to be able to commit to, like a really big indoor garden. And now we've seen that shift where people still want that greenery, but they want it to be easy to care for. They want to understand how to do it right, that they're not, just buying houseplants to kill them. So I think a lot of folks are looking for that kind of like low effort joy in their spaces. And in addition to that, we're also seeing a big shift towards just how people are shopping in a digital world. Yeah. Live shopping and content-driven commerce is really big. So we're trying to keep up with that as well. Customers really don't want to just buy. They want to be like part of a community. And I think that's been probably a really big shift in the consumer landscape these days. And, brands need to be able to adapt to that if they aren't already,
Right.
especially with the younger generations. Like, they have a strong desire to support a brand that truly aligns with their values. Like, they want to know where their money's going and what kind
Mm-hmm.
of brand they're supporting. It's not just about style for them. So I think for us, we've also seen just being really transparent around sourcing, like our processes, and like the care that we put into our product. I think that really matters to people, and they just want to feel connected, whether it's like to their homes, to their purchases, and to the people behind the brand.
Yeah, that's awesome advice because, obviously things are changing, right? And I think with our current economic stresses, the spending habits are going to go more towards special things that mean stuff to people
Agreed.
because that typically happens when the economy's stressed out.
Absolutely.
People give up their big old habits from some of the big brands and they seek out more fun experiences basically at the end of the day, right?
Absolutely.
Like how camping has blown up. That was like dead before the pandemic. Now all of a sudden you drive on the weekend and you see about 22 campers on the road with you.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely see a shift where it's less about things and more about experiences, especially as we get really sucked into the world of AI and all of these like digitally created experiences. Like, how do we ground ourselves into like the real world? And
Right.
hopefully nature is part of that. And BWH is a big part of that for people.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like to camping, to traveling, I think that's really like, it's going to start up again.
Yeah, travel is becoming different as well, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Well, that's awesome. So what's next for your company in the near future, Carlie?
So for us, a really big focus right now is scaling our wholesale partnerships. We launched a wholesale channel, I want to say about a year and a half ago, and it's really started to take off. We found a really good niche for supplying kind of what we used to be like a smaller boutique plant stores that are more like have a local presence in their community, like brick and mortar type spaces.
Yeah.
So we're really trying to grow that side of the business in a big way to be able to bring more unique houseplants to, local communities, to like these smaller shops that don't have the ability to go source from big nurseries, because it can be really tough to find suppliers if you're not a grower yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big channel for us. And at the same time, we're trying to invest in our operations. We really want to speed up shipping and improve the overall customer experience. I think that's something that we'll always be striving to improve, no matter where we get. But shipping houseplants logistically is very tricky. There's a lot of pieces behind the scenes and thought that go into that. We can really only ship a few days a week to ensure that plants aren't stuck in the weekend in certain hubs and slow down transit time. So, we're trying to figure out how we can ramp up our operations and expedite things so that really like Monday through Wednesday timeframe is really where we're getting the bulk of our orders out to our customers to avoid, transit delays.
Yeah.
It's live goods at the end of the day. So we have to be really particular with how we're shipping. And I would say lastly, just digitally, we're leaning hard into innovation, especially with our app. It's one of our strongest sales channels over even our website. So we're trying to figure out fun ways to engage our customers through that platform. And then also with our live stream shopping channel. It's a new tool that we've started leaning into in the past 2 months. We're just trying to think of it like a modern day QVC, but for plant lovers. We want to create a really fun and engaging, community-driven ways to shop and connect with us in real time. So we kind of do like a behind the scenes look at actually our greenhouse. We show plants that are being grown. So it's a really fun way for like our more loyal consumers to connect with us and see like the nitty gritty behind the scenes of how their product is being grown and ask questions in real time to, myself, co-founders, our head grower. Like it's really like a fun way to engage with our community. So those are all ways that we're trying to keep growing our business in the near and far future.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Of course.
So what's the best way for listeners to get involved in what you're doing at BWH Plant Co? Let's send them to your best channels.
Thank you. So you can shop with us at bwhplantco.com. You can download our mobile app on Google Play or App Store. It's just BWH Plant Co. Or you can tune into our new live streams every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern and shop with us live.
Nice. Well, thanks, Carlie. That's a wrap here on another episode of Founder Freedom. A huge thanks to you for showing us how a side hustle can turn into a blooming e-commerce empire from a pop-up to a powerhouse. Carlie's story is a masterclass in momentum. Don't laugh. You told me this.
Thank you. I appreciate being on the show. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So if you want to green up your space, hit up bwplantco.com and turn your thumb green one plant at a time. If you like what you heard here, subscribe and share this episode. Leave us a review to help other founders find their path to freedom. Until next time, keep creating, keep scaling, and never lose your style.